Hey there everyone, Miss Jada here to teach you more animals of Kansas and their American Sign Language word. So far we have learned about the difference between invertebrates and vertebrates and the smaller animal groups that make up those two categories. There are 4 more classifications for the vertebrate groups and we're going to cover them today. Are you ready? Great, let's get started. Remember, for more American Sign Language resources, you can go to startasl.com and learn more than just the words in today's video. Let's start with reptiles and amphibians. These are both cold-blooded creatures, meaning their body temperatures will rise and fall with the air around them. Reptiles like snakes and turtles can be seen warming themselves in the sun during morning and then disappear to the shade in the afternoon to cool down. Their rough, scaly skin protects them from losing water and from predator attacks. Amphibians are a little different because their skin is very thin and dries out easily. Amphibians must stay near water. All Kansas reptiles and amphibians lay eggs. The word amphibian means living both in land and water. When a frog is a baby, what do we call it? A tadpole. Tadpoles have to stay in the water because they're missing something very important. Legs. Instead, they have a tail longer than their body for swimming. Eventually, the legs grow as the tadpoles get older and the tail gets shorter and shorter. The back legs of a frog are made for jumping long distances. This bullfrog is able to jump 10 times the length of its body. If you could jump like a frog, take your height and multiply by 10. How far would that be? To sign frog, make your hand into a fist and put it under your chin. Taking both your middle finger and your index finger together, flick them outward. The motion of your fingers is like the legs flicking out so the frog can leap from pad to pad. Toads are not great jumpers, but they make up for it with impressive appetites. These little hoppers can eat a variety of insects, worms, and other soft-bodied small critters. Despite being covered in bumps, you cannot get warts from a toad. However, if an animal tries to eat a toad, the large bumps can release a bad-tasting toxin, keeping them from becoming somebody's lunch. Like some of the other animals we've learned about, there's no sign for toad, so you must fingerspell T-O-A-D. That's all for amphibians. Let's talk about reptiles. Our first reptile is a turtle. Turtles have strong shells and thick scaly skin to keep them protected. Unlike in cartoons, turtles cannot leave their shells because it is part of their skeleton. Some turtles, like a box turtle, have the ability to close themselves up completely inside their shell. This box turtle is named Scooter, and he lives here at the library. Aquatic turtles, like the red-eared slider, can't close up their shells, so they must swim away quickly to escape any danger. This red-eared slider also lives at the library and is named Harriet. To sign turtle, there's 2 ways to try. First, make a fist with your thumb over your index finger. Cover your fist with your other hand and pull it back to reveal your thumb as if it was the turtle's head poking out. Or you can simply hold your hand over your fist and wiggle your thumb. This 5-lined skink is an example of a lizard we have running around in Kansas. These guys are very fast, which helps them grab prey and escape danger. They can also break off pieces of their tail if a predator grabs it, but don't worry, it will grow back in a couple of months. To sign lizard, start with one hand in an L shape. Your other arm should be parallel to the ground with your elbow near your waist and arm extended straight out. Run the L-shaped hand up from about your wrist to the crook of your elbow, like a lizard running up your arm. Snakes are probably the most feared reptile, but there's no reason to be afraid. While a few Kansas snakes are venomous, the majority of the ones you will see around here are non-venomous. This species is a western rat snake, a very common species. This snake is great rodent control and will only bite if you make it feel scared. So like with all wild animals, if you see a snake, give it some space and leave it alone. It will do the same for you. The sign for snake is to make your hand into a bent V shape and slither your hand forward a few inches, similar to the way a snake slithers on the ground. Time to leave our scaly friends and move on to some feathered ones. Birds come in a wide variety of colors, sizes, and shapes, but all of them have feathers, beaks, and lay eggs. They are also warm-blooded. Here at the library, we see lots of different birds outside every day. The smallest Kansas bird is the hummingbird. One of the tallest is the great blue heron. You can see both of these here at Wyandotte County Lake Park. The sign for bird looks like you're making a bird's beak with your thumb and pointer finger. Hold your hand near your mouth and open and close your thumb and pointer finger. Out here at the lake, we see lots of waterfowl. Recently, 4 juvenile mallard ducks hung out around the library before going back down to the water. Male mallards are easy to spot with their green heads and yellow bills. The females are mostly brown to help them camouflage while they sit on their nests. The sign for duck looks like a duck's beak quacking. Make the sign for duck by taking your index and middle fingers together and touching and separating them from your thumb, holding them in front of your mouth. Looking out on the lake in any season, we see lots of geese swimming nearby. In this picture, there's a Canada goose and a snow goose. Can you guess which is which? The snow goose feathers are white, while the Canada goose has brown, black, and white feathers. Both geese are long-distance travelers, sometimes flying thousands of miles to find warmer winter temperatures, food, and water that hasn't frozen yet. To sign for goose, place your hand in front of your mouth with all your fingers but your thumb together. Create a beak-like shape and proceed to open and close your hand, mimicking a moving beak. Not all birds that hang around lakes and rivers are waterfowl. Some are raptors or birds of prey. The eagle spends its days looking for a fish to catch or to scavenge dead animals. The eagle has a wingspan of up to 7 feet long, a sharp-hooked beak, and talons strong enough to crush a baseball. To sign for eagle, make the letter X with your hand, which is index finger curved, and tap the back of your hand on your nose, as if representing the curved beak of an eagle. A nocturnal bird of prey is the owl. This species pictured here is the barred owl. They have a very distinct call that's easy to pick out at night. It sounds like someone is saying, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all?" Owls use their large eyes and sensitive ears to pick up small sounds of the little rodents they eat. After they digest their prey, the bones, fur, and feathers are coughed up in the form of a little pellet. To sign owl, make your hands into circles and hold them in front of your eyes. Twist your hands inward and outward. Our last critter is not a reptile, amphibian, or a bird. It's not a mammal or an invertebrate, so what could it be? I'll give you 3 hints. They are cold-blooded, their bodies are covered in slimy scales, and they have gills. It's a fish. Did you guess correctly? There are lots of kinds of fish all over Kansas. This fish is a bluegill. Most fish are carnivores that eat meat, but some will nibble on plants. The gills on the sides of their bodies let them pull oxygen from the water. The colder the water, the more oxygen there is. On a hot day, fish will stay deep below the surface where temps are cool and there is plenty of dissolved oxygen. The sign for fish looks a lot like a fish swimming through the water. Take your hand and extend your hand with your thumb up and fingers together. Hold the hand with the fingers facing forward and then shimmy your hand as you move it forward. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.